This story is tragic, and we have to warn you, the details may be upsetting. This is Micah Miller, the 30-year-old wife of a South Carolina pastor. Micah was found dead at a state park on April 27th, just 2 days after serving divorce papers to her husband, Pastor John Paul Miller. Miller is the pastor of a conservative Christian congregation in Myrtle Beach. But before her death, Micah shared several disturbing fears with her sister, including saying, "If I end up with a bullet in my head, it was not by me, it was my husband." Micah had met John Paul when she was just 14 or 15, and he was nearly twice her age. Throughout their marriage, she reportedly endured violence and manipulation, leading her to fear for her own life. According to the ultra-conservative New York Post, in the lead-up to her death, Micah even found a tracking device on her car and had her tires slashed. She blamed her husband, who later admitted to the sabotage in emails. Miller had apparently suffered from severe mental health issues. But authorities have just revealed what actually killed Micah. They say she turned a gun on herself. In our world today, both intimate partner violence and untreated mental health issues are all too prevalent, and experts say the main cause of both is the immoral system of capitalism that we live in. Many people are unable to get proper treatment for mental health issues because mental health care is often not covered by insurance or is too expensive, because we have a system designed to return profit for Wall Street, not help people on Main Street. And the financial pressures of our system, which doesn't provide the basic necessities of life, food, medicine, shelter, and a stable income, all too often puts pressures on relationships that wouldn't be there if people could simply afford to live. That pressure manifests in stress, tension, and often abuse. If you are struggling with mental health, know that there's help available. Call or text 988.
Man, my condolences goes out to that lady family. And mental health is so real, man. Now, just imagine if they didn't know that she turned a gun on herself. This guy right here would have been looked at so bad. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, despite their age differences and all that stuff, mentally, she wasn't right to be with nobody. She wasn't right to be with whatever, whoever, whatever. Because if somebody do something like this to themselves, they're dealing with something that's much more darker and something that's very, negative, because anything that you're dealing with that's love and peace should only project good things. Anything that's dark, negative, demonic, ain't make you feel pleasant or pleasantly move you in a way you don't feel comfort in, then you already know. So this pastor right here, I'm happy he did admit to his wrongdoing. But I think it was more going on between his wrongdoing and her age and how other people looked at their life, their relationship. I mean, it could have played a part in it, but at the same time, those type of demons usually come from somewhere within, not because of somebody's controlling you or age difference or anything like that. Because I never heard of a story or any domestic situation where the person who was abusing, someone made them do something to themselves to make it look like, what we just heard. So if you're going through something, just remember there's always help. There's always people out there. And call 988 to get yourself together. Anything you're dealing with is always people here.
This story out of Seattle is horrifying, and we have to warn you, the details may be upsetting. This is Lilia Gajvoronsky, a 20-year-old dancer who was apparently stuck in an on-again, off-again toxic relationship with this guy, 58-year-old James McNeil, who was also a city councilman in a nearby town.
What a great community Bothell has.
But behind the pictures of a happy couple and a successful politician was a much darker secret. Lilia had apparently been trying to leave McNeil, whom she told friends was controlling, manipulative, and abusive. McNeil had apparently just left his wife and 3 children and had allegedly told Lilia that he was going to sex traffic her. At a certain point, Lilia had enough. She moved to this house and tried to restart her life, telling neighbors she was happy and trying to stay away from her ex. But that all changed a few days ago. That's when police say McNeil came to the house and ended up killing Lilia, strangling her to death. This photo shows McNeil being taken away from the house, covered in blood. Authorities say McNeil had self-inflicted wounds on his own wrists. Sadly, Lilia's story is all too common in the modern world. In 2021, 34% of all female murders in the United States were committed by an intimate partner. And contrary to the stories you see in movies and TV shows, most killings by an intimate partner are not from moments of rage when somebody snaps, but are carefully executed plans that involve stalking and monitoring of victims. Media report that McNeil had been stalking Lilia. He's been charged with second-degree murder. If you think you're being abused, get help today. Don't wait before it's too late. Text BEGIN to the National Domestic Abuse Hotline at 88788.
My condolences goes out to this lady family just because age didn't play a factor in this. Mental, like him did. Because who would date somebody and say those type of things and then turn around and just casually act like, it's just normal. Like, no, for one, sex trafficking isn't motherfucking normal. Domestic abuse, domestic violence is definitely not motherfucking normal. And how you treat people the right way is normal. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry for people who don't like when I curse and stuff like this, but sometimes you be filled with so much, or your mind, or you just think about situations that you in that's sort of similar, and you can just understand what that person is going through that lost somebody. So, everybody express themselves the way they express themselves. And, I just feel bad that family have to hear what she went through and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope he get the life sentence. We already know the death penalty. We'll see.